suppose for 10 students, 1 2 3 4 5 6 8 2 0 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. For 10 students out of 10 marks they are given like this. Now we want to represent this data by using a frequency distribution table. So because here all numbers are very simple and numbers are range of the numbers from 0 to 10 itself. So 0, 1, 2, 3 not there, 4 is there, 5 is there, 6, 7, 8, 9 not there, 10 is there. So these are marks scored. Okay, these are the marks and tally marks. So in a frequency distribution table to represent the frequency, we are using tally marks. Frequency is nothing but how many times it is occurring. And next, number of students scored those marks. Now first 0. 0, how many people got? Only one person got. So by using tally mark, we will represent that. Number of students also 1. And 1 also one person, so 1. And 2 also only one person, so 1. And then 4 also one person, so 1. And 5 also only one person, so 1. 6 1 2 persons are there, so 2. And 7 8 one person only. 10 also one person only. So now just add number of students, how many we got? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Total 10 students are there, and these are the marks. So these are the representation of tally marks. If for suppose we are getting 6 times 3 6 times, for suppose, means we want to represent by using tally marks. So for 6, how we need to represent using the tally marks? 1 2 3 4. And with the fifth tally mark, we will cut off that bundle, that group, and sixth one. Like this, we will use to represent the tally marks, and you know very well because in our previous classes only we discussed how to represent the data using a frequency distribution table. So just observe here, very simple numbers are given. That's why we are writing directly. So this data is given, just whatever given, for that only we are doing. So this is known as raw data. Okay, and if data is very small, so it is enough to represent using the frequency distribution table in this way. But when for very large numbers, if the data is for very large numbers, for suppose 20 23 25 like that mentioned, in that case we can't able to do in this like this way. For that we need to group the data first of all. After getting the grouped data, we can perform the frequency distribution table. Understand? So we will see with the example, then we will understand. So here for suppose they are given observations 15,000, 15,750, 16,000, again 16,000 and 16,050, 16,400, 16,800, 17,000, 17,250, like that 7,500, sorry 75,000, like this given for suppose. So in this case, if you are using tally marks directly, if you are performing trying to draw the frequency distribution table, so it is impossible because very large numbers are there. For that sake, we will divide the given data into some groups. Okay, organization of group data. So we are organizing that as a groups. How we will write? So first for that, what is the smaller value? Find out. 15,000 and 75,000 is the greater value. So means we need to take the groups such that they must we must get all the numbers from 15,000 to 75,000. Okay, so for suppose I'm using the numbers like this: 10,000, 10,001 to 20,000. So here in between this class interval, this group, 15,000 will come, 10,000 to 20,000, all the numbers. So 15,000, 15,000, 16,000, 16,000, 16,000, 16,000, 16,000, 17,000, 17,000 will come in this group. And still so many numbers are there. So maybe those are in between 20,000 to 30,000. 20,001 to 30,000, and next 30,001 to 40,001, 40,000, 40,001 to 50,000, 50,001 to 60,000, 60,001 to 70,000, 70,000 to 70,001 to 80,000. Why I am taking till 80,000 means highest value is 75,000, least value is 15,000. So we are grouping such that the whatever numbers, whatever groups we are taking, say with the same gap we are dividing, and this each group is known as a class interval. So here we can able to tell that each value from 1,001, 10,001 to 80,000, whatever observations they are given, so all are covered in these class intervals. Okay, so this is known as grouping the data. Okay, for this group data we can organize by using the frequency distribution table for particular numbers. Okay, now we will go through with the another example. So this is for class intervals. Just we are dividing large data into some groups. That groups, each group is known as a class interval. Now, for suppose I have given the question like this. Here one table I gave. Example problem. Marks of 30 students in a test are given in the grouped frequency in the adjacent grouped frequency distribution. So observe here, they are given the frequency distribution like this. Serial number, marks, and number of students. And here first class interval is 0 to 5. 0 to 5, 5 students are scored, and next 5 to 10, and third one is 10 to 15, fourth one is 15 to 20, fifth one is 20 to 25. 7 students, 10 students, 6 students, and 2 students. First problem, into how many groups the data is classified. The data is classified. And secondly, how many students are there in the third group? How many students are there in the third group. And next, third problem. What are the marks of 6 students who are in the fourth class interval? What are the marks of 6 students who are in the fourth interval? Okay, observe the given question. Observe the tabular form, whatever they are given grouped frequency distribution. Why? Because here they are grouped the given observations into some. They are organized the given observations into some groups. These groups are said to be in class intervals. So here, how many groups are formed? 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25. 5 groups are there. Okay, and next, number of students who scored from 0 to 5 marks are 5, and 5 to 10 are 7, 10 to 15 are 10, 15 to 20 are 6, 20 to 25 are 2. And just observe this, here each group is said to be class interval, I said, and first initial value of that class interval is said to be lower limit, and ending value is said to be upper limit. Lower limit, upper limit. So first class interval is 0 to 5 and its lower limit is 0, upper limit is 5. Coming to the second class interval, here lower limit is 5 and upper limit is 10. So lower limit of the second class and upper limit of the first class are same. Such type of class intervals are said to be exclusive class intervals. In this case, 5, if the student scored 5 marks, for suppose 5 marks only scoring, in that case, it is belongs to which group? Either first group or second group. So for this type of intervals states as only lower limit we must take the into consideration, and below the upper limit value means 0 to 4 values comes under 0 to 5 class interval, because these are exclusive class intervals, that's why. And next, 5 to 10 in this class interval, marks from 5 to 9 we need to consider. 10 is belongs to other one, so upper limit we will not take as consideration, understand? So now coming to the first question. Now we have read the table completely. Now total how many students are there? Just count. 7 plus 5, 12. 12 plus 10 is 22, 28, 30. Marks of 30 students. So total students are 30. Into how many groups the data is classified? How many groups are shown in that data? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 groups are shown. How many students are there in the third group? So third group is 10 to 15. How many students are there? 10 students. Next, what are the marks of 6 students who are in the fourth interval? Fourth interval, 6 students are there. What are the marks they are asking? Means 15 to 20 marks. Yes or no? Means 15 marks. Which marks we don't know, but compulsory those marks will be from 15 to less than 20. 15 to less than 20, not equal to 20. Okay. Fifteen to below 20. So actually we need to write in sentences form, and one more question is given like this. If a student gets 10 marks, if a student gets 10 marks, should he be included in second or third class? should he be included second or third class? So why? Because here 10 is represented in two intervals, as 5 to 10 as well as 10 to 15. As I told you, such type of boundaries, this type of class intervals, 10 is there in both the intervals. So that's why 10 upper limit of the second class will not consider. So it is belongs to the third class. 10 is lower limit of the third class. That's why that person belongs to the third class. So let us consider, for suppose with the example I'll explain. See, I have class intervals like 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, just before in the before problem. Okay, these are the class intervals. This is my first one. And coming to the second table, class intervals are given like this. 0 to 5, 6 to 11, 12 to 17, and 18 to 23, 24 to 29. Like this, for suppose I have. Now, what is the difference between these two? Just observe here. So, first, already I told you, initial value of that class interval is known as the lower limit, and ending value is known as upper limit. Lower limit, upper limit, limits of the class interval. Okay, and this is first class, and here also lower limit of the first class is 0 and upper limit is 5. Lower limit, upper limit. Now for second class interval, upper limit is lower limit is 5, upper limit is 10, and this lower limit of second class is the upper limit of the first class. Such type of class intervals are said to be exclusive class intervals. Okay, exclusive class intervals. And here just observe, lower limits, upper limits of different class intervals are differ. So these are said to be inclusive class intervals. Exclusive class intervals and inclusive class intervals. And next, if a person got 10 marks, just before I said 10 marks, whether he is belongs to this class or this class, because 10 is represented in two class intervals. So what I told you, so in such type of class intervals, upper limit will not be taken into consideration. So 10 we will not take, because upper limit of the second class is 10. So it will not consider in the second interval. So it is comes under third interval. Third interval consisting the values from 10 to 14. 15 also does not belongs to this third interval. Okay. So when you are getting exclusive class intervals, whatever upper limit is there, just before whatever lesser number, till that values only we must consider. Now coming to the this step. Now here 10 belongs to which type, which class interval? So 0 to 5 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever marks are scored, all those comes under this class interval only. Why? Because 5 is not repeated again. Okay, 6 to 11. So 10 belongs to 6 to 11 class interval. Like that. So here no confusion. But in this case, it is belongs to which class interval? Lower limit only we must take into consideration. Upper limit will consider in the next class interval. Okay. So these are exclusive class intervals and inclusive class intervals. Lower limits, upper limits. And next, okay, now this is about limits, lower limit, upper limit. Now we have boundaries also. So boundary is nothing but we must take upper limit of the first class interval to the lower limit of the next class interval, and their uh, average. Upper limit of first class interval is 5. Yes, second class interval is 5. Average of those two is, average is nothing but sum of observations by number of observations, which is equal to 10 by 2, that is nothing but 5 only. So it is a upper boundary. Upper boundary is 5. What about lower boundary? See, usually initial value will take with the 0 only, and its lower limit of that one is 0 itself. So 0 plus 0 by 2 is nothing but 0 by 2, that is nothing but 0 only. For exclusive class intervals, whatever limits are there, that one only will get as boundaries. lower boundary or upper boundary. So boundary is nothing but the average of upper limit and lower limit of the two successive classes. Okay. Now coming to write this one, boundaries. So average of these two values we must take to get upper boundary of the first class interval. To get the lower boundary, initial value is 0 only. So 0 plus 0 by 2 is nothing but 0. So lower boundary is 0 for first class interval and upper boundary is 5 plus 6, 11. 11 by 2. That is nothing but 5.5. So here we'll get 5.5. And same thing we'll get here. 6 plus 5, 11 by 2. That is nothing but 5.5. Next, it is 11 plus 12, 23 by 2. 11 plus 12. Upper boundary of the second class and lower boundary of third class. 11 plus 12 is equal to 23 by 2. That is nothing but 11.5. And it is only lower limit of the next class. Next, here we'll get 17.5. Just observe this, whatever we have solved. So here 0, and next 5.5, next 5.5, 11.5, 11.5, 17.5. Here 17.5 will get. So this 17.5 will get here. And more than 11.5, 17.5. Next number will be 23.5. Just 0.5 will increase here. Next 23.5, 29.5. Like this will get the boundaries. So these are also called as true class limits. So when we are getting inclusive class intervals, directly we can't able to do. First we must convert them into exclusive class intervals. Then only we can perform any representations. So in the next exercises we will see what is the use of boundaries. Okay. Upper boundary we will get by taking the upper limit of the first class and the lower limit of the second class average, and lower boundary we will get by taking the lower boundary and upper boundary of the previous class average. Okay. And next, difference between the two boundaries, that is upper boundary and lower boundary, is known as a class length. So just before we got 11.5 and 17.5 for one of the class interval. So for any class interval, that the difference will be same. So difference of these two, that means 17.5 minus 11.5 will be equal to 5 minus 5 0, 7 minus 1 6, 6. So 6 is said to be class length and it will be denoted by C or small l also. Okay. So class length of that class interval is equal to 6. So when you are calculating class length, we are taking boundaries in case of inclusive class intervals. If exclusive, directly we can take. And for exclusive class intervals, whatever limits are there, that one only will act as boundaries. So now just observe the table, you will understand. Class interval with inclusive classes. Limits and boundaries of that class intervals. So here 3 class intervals are given. In this we'll get lower limit, upper limit. Here also lower boundary, upper boundary. And first one is 1 to 10, 11 to 20 inclusive class intervals. So 21 to 30. Okay. Next table is showing class intervals with exclusive classes. Next, limits for those exclusive classes as well as boundaries also we will see. So all these we are using to represent the data using frequency distribution table and by graphs also. In the next exercise we will see that. And now here they are given 0 to 10. So because they are exclusive, 10 we will get here, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. Same number will get. Now coming to the limits and boundaries. So for these inclusive class intervals, limits and boundaries are differently valued. Just observe here 1 to 10. Lower limit of this class is 1 and upper limit is 10. Here lower limit of second class is 11 and upper limit is 20. And here 21 it is 30. Limits. Okay, now boundaries. So boundary, lower boundary usually will take 0 starting number, 0 plus 1 by 2. Lower limit 0 plus 1 by 2. Initial value is 0 and lower limit is 1. 0 plus 1 by 2. That is average of those two numbers 0 and 1. 0 plus 1 by 2 is nothing but 0.5 minus upper boundary. So for to get upper boundary, this upper limit and lower limit of the next successive class we will take. That is 10 and 11. So 10 plus 11, average of those two numbers we must calculate to get the boundary. 10 plus 11 is 21 by 2. 21 by 2 is nothing but 10.5. Just remember to write lower boundaries, whatever numbers are there, deduct 0.5. That's all. And to write upper boundaries, add 0.5. Now here we will get 10.5 minus we are doing 0.5 minus 0.5 we are doing. Here we will get 20.5. Here we need to add plus 0.5. Here 20.5 and 30.5. These are the boundaries of inclusive classes. Now coming to the exclusive class, lower limit, upper limit. So lower limit is 0, upper limit is 10 and lower limit is 10, upper limit is 20 for the next class. Here 20 and 30. Now coming to lower boundary and upper boundary. Just now I told you, for exclusive classes, whatever limits are there, that one only will get as boundaries. So just observe, initial value for the lower limit is 0. So 0 plus 0 by 2 is nothing but 0. And next 10 plus 10, 20 by 2. 20 by 2 is nothing but 10. Same thing, same values you will get in case of exclusive classes. That's all. And what is the class length of these two problems? Observe, for this difference between class boundaries, 10.5, any class boundary you can take. 10.5 minus 0.5, 0.5 will get cancelled, only 10 will remain. So 10, 20.5 minus 10.5, 10, 30.5 minus 20.5, 10. So class length of this class intervals, this group data is 10. And coming to this one, 10 minus 0, 10. 20 minus 10 is a 10. 30 minus 20 is a 10. So class length of this one is a 10. And remember, range is the difference between smallest observation and maximum observation and minimum observation. So here maximum is 30, minimum is 1. So 30 minus 1 is equal to 29 is the range. And class length is the difference between one class. Difference between the boundaries. Lower boundary and upper boundary of any class is known as class length. Okay. So now with the example we will see frequency distribution table. We will perform how to divide the given data into groups, that means class intervals, and how to represent them by using frequency distribution table. Just observe for the group data. Okay. Consider the marks of 15 students in an test. Consider the marks of 50 students in a test as 31, 14, 0, 12, 20, 23, 26, 36, 33, 41, 37, 25, 22, 14, 3. And 25, 27, 34. 38, 43, 32, 22, 28, 18, 7, 21, 20. So total 50 students are there. So 50 values will get 35, 36, 45. 9, 19, 29, 25, 33, 47, 35, 38, 25, 34, 39, 1, 10, 24, 27, and then 25, 18, 8. So total 50 observations are given. And how are they gave? That data is known as raw data, because it is not organized at all, not grouped at all. Means organization is nothing but by using a table. If they are given by using a table, that is organized data. Here they are given just raw data, and we have to convert it in table for this one. Okay. So now how to construct a frequency distribution table we will see. First of all, identify what is the range of the data. So range of the data is maximum observation. So here 47 only highest value, 47 minus least value. Least value is 0. 47 minus 0 is equal to 47. So range of the data is 47. Means that 47 numbers we must divide into some groups. All those 47 numbers we can't able to list in the table. For that sake, we are converting the raw data into grouped data but by taking the class intervals. But how many class intervals we need to take? That is also we need to find. See, usually 5 to 8 class intervals we will prefer. Okay. Now maximum class interval was range of the class is 47. So if I am taking 6 numbers in one group, means 47 by 6, how much I will get? 6 sevens are 42. Okay, 6 sevens are 42. So 7 or 8 groups will get. If I am dividing with 8, 8 6 are 48 actually. So it is nearly 6 groups. Totally 6 groups will get. So just it is our approximation. We need to calculate. We need to decide till how many in one group how many numbers we must take. So what I told, 47 by 8 means if I am taking 88 numbers in one group, then I'll get 6 class intervals. Nearly, not exact. Okay. So now we will see. So this is class intervals. How many class intervals we must take? So when I am taking 6 class intervals, 47 by 6, not 8, means when I am taking 6 class intervals, I need to place approximately 8 observations in that. So if number of class intervals is equal to 6, then length of class interval is equal to 47 by 6, which is equal to 8 approximately, not exact. Means in one group we must write 8 observations. So now prefer the frequency distribution table. First we must indicate class intervals and then tally marks, because we are representing by using a frequency distribution table. Tally marks and number of students scored those marks. Number of students. Okay, first class interval with 8 observations means first initial value is 0. So 0 to 8. Sorry, 0 to 7. Because 0 also we need to include. So 0 to 7, 8 members are there. Next, 8 to 15. 8 plus 7, 15. Okay. Then 16 to 23. And 24 plus 7, 31. Class length is 7, 8. So we need to add 8 numbers. We are including that number also. That's why one number will get less. Means, see, actually 0 to 8 we have to take. But 0 also we are including. That's why only 7. So just count 0, 1, 2, 3. Till 7 we'll get 8 numbers compulsory. Now 8 to 15. And 16 to 23. Next number for 23 is 24. So 24 plus 7, 31. Instead of 8, we are adding 7. Next, number 32. 32 plus 7, 39. So like that we will get the class intervals. Now 40 to 47. 47 only highest number. So enough. So how many class intervals we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just observe. For 6 only we did this. Now, coming to the students, number of students who scored is between 0 to 7. 0 including 7 also, because all these are exclusive class intervals. Okay. Sorry. Inclusive class intervals. So each number is there in every class interval. Now coming to the 0 to 7, how many numbers are there? We will count. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all. 0 to 7, 4 people are there. And then 8 to 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people were there. And in this range, 16 to 23, how many people are there? We must check. 16 to 23. 16, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 people are scoring between 16 to 23. Then 24 to 31. So 24 to 31, how many people are there? 24 is the minimum value and 31 is the highest value. So for 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, So by doing so, you'll get a 13, 14, and 4. All these are the numbers, just count and write. So these many people we are getting in between 0 to 7, 4 people, 8 to 15 like that. And how to represent by using tally marks. Now 4 will be represented as 1, 2, 3, 4. And 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Totally 10, 11, 12, 13. For 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all. So this is the representation of ungrouped data. How we are changing into grouped data? First, we need to select its range. After getting the range, assume how many class intervals you need. Usually, we are using it from 5 to 8 class intervals. So here for this question, I am taking 6 class intervals. For that, how many observations I need to keep? Means what is the class length we must find. So total range of the data is 47. 47 by 6 is equal to approximately 8. Means between each class interval, we need to list 88 observations. So here according to that, class length 0 to 7, 8. 8 to 15, 8 observations are there. 16 to 23, 8 observations are there. So that is class length. After once we are writing class intervals, now observe how many students scored between those marks. Between are equal. Okay. So by doing so, after that represent it this one by using tally marks. So this is frequency distribution table.